Hi people, I'm Modoni.
I'm Caroline.
Diana.
I'm Sally.
And together we are
SOS Dadas.
Hi Sally.
She didn't know what she was doing.
I did.
I really can't just believe it how this new year is flying. Like we are already in March. Why? So soon we'll just have December. Please bear with the noise.
It's kawaida by now.
Yeah, so we're near the airport.
That means we're going places.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, fine. So now this much we're going to deal with myths that are faced by the 21st century woman. Like there's a lot of things that you'll be told by the society because they expect you to behave in a certain way. And as we discuss them, because we're calling them myths, we want to decipher truly, is that what God expects for you as a woman? And how do you cope with this? So probably to just give a random example before even we start tackling the myths. I remember there is this lady in church who kept asking me, when are you getting married? And then, I had a very good answer for her. Have you prayed?
Generic.
Have you prayed to God for me to get a husband? Because you see, if you don't have a rebuttal in regards to, and I'm not saying a rebuttal that's rude, but having an answer that's based on the truth, based on your identity and based on who God says you are, you'll keep getting offended by what people are saying, and at times getting a lot of pressure, and you act out of that pressure and you dishonor God in the end. So I'd like us to go through some of these myths. It's a 2-part series. We'll deal with this through the month of March. So today is the first podcast. We're looking forward to having you next time in 2 weeks. So we'll start with Sally, and I'll read for you the myth that I want you to deal with. And it says, downplay your success till the man comes. I have to shrink myself to appear needy to make the man feel good about himself. So Sally, share with us an instance where you've experienced this. How does it even make you feel as a woman? What have you done about it?
That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Like, even that statement, automatically, in my old self, I would say, I'd wake up to like, no, as in how is it possible? Snap your fingers. I'm even snapping now. But now with more insight as I'm older. So how does an experience, or I give an experience, right?
Yes.
Yeah. An example of how I've had to shrink myself
or downplay
my success. I'll give both in my head and also practically. So, and of course we're talking about guys, as in,
okay,
in my head, like what in my head I would think of shrinking myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, trying to define shrinking, because shrinking is a word of, I think of, those
Minimizing
fabric,
making it so small, making yourself smaller than you actually are. Not that I'm this great person, but and it's in relation to guys. So I'd give a situation that happened to me when it's also with a guy. Now people must be thinking I have 101 guys who I am dating. No, but there's an actual date that I was asked to go on, and this guy happened to be, according to me, in my image at the time, for men, and especially men in the religious field, because he was actually a pastor. And so I was like, wow, okay.
Man after God's own heart.
Yes, I was like, wow, pressure. Me, this crazy party girl who was all up and down, in every party scene you can ever imagine in this town, and globally, actually, internationally, party girl. It reached that level. The Lord be the glory that I'm out of that. But yeah, so I was going on a date with this guy who had asked me out, and he I can say he kind of pursued, because he was always just there, and I was like, fine, I'll go on a date with this guy. And anyway, I need to turn a new leaf. So I was becoming a better Christian. So I said, why don't we start with a Christian man? The Lord has brought a pastor, straight to the point. So the date, I remember it was somewhere not far from, anyway, it was in town. And we before the date, of course, as a chick, you're like, what? Now what do I dress? What do I wear? Yeah. What do I say? Preparation. So of course I was going to wear the longest thing that I had at the time, almost 0 to 1.5 makeup, and be very calm and collected, not to be my full self, because I am a force to reckon with. I can be a bit loud. I do know myself. And so I was like, I'm gonna be church girl. I'm gonna be quiet. And again, this is now where I had to shrink. I saw myself myself shrinking myself because I was always like, I'm not gonna say the things that I usually say. I'm not gonna comment. I'm just gonna be quiet and let him talk because he has all the wisdom, right? He's a pastor. He knows all these things. So who am I to quote a verse? So I even thought of quoting verses, but I'm like, guy, I say it wrongly. During the date, I reached there. During the day,
I think you're even googling how to be the pastor's wife.
I'm getting there. So I reached a point where I actually went on a full rampage because I also had anxiety issues. I'm still dealing with them. Like I reached a point, I'm like, guy, what am I going to do? And it's like a few days to the date. So I remember calling Diana and also other friends asking like, what should I wear? What should I do? So I was Googling how to be a pastor's wife. So thank God for Google, you can actually ask that question. And I don't know where wife came. So immediately I had to shrink myself from just going on a date to being a wife. I skipped the whole dating and courting because I was like, this guy must be just looking for a wife. So let's just go to the wife. So let's not even be on a date. So let's not date and get to know each other perhaps. Total error. Anyway, so I went and researched and I found out that, a pastor's wife has to sacrifice a lot. And I was like, Sally, you'll give up talking to people. You'll give up traveling, everything, which are things I love. And so I really had to, so that is the mindset. That was the mindset that changed. That's how I was shrinking myself in my mind because I knew I was not good enough. I was not just the way I am. He possibly would not like me just for who I am. And my experiences actually have made me a stronger person. But I was like, sure, he would not want that. Yet I know they're very cool pastors. I'm not saying pastors are always wanting this. I'm saying that
It's more about
stories we tell ourselves and the perceptions that I thought. And also, again, where did I get this perception? Let's start there. The perception is from the media and from anyone saying, if you're a pastor's wife or if you're dating a pastor, you're dating somebody in religious settings, you have to become this calm, quiet person. I'm calm at certain points, maybe when I'm sleeping, but I'm calm to the point whereby my personality, I'm very nurturing, I think, why am I saying that I am? Gosh, let me be humble. No, I love developing people and I love getting to just see somebody laugh and smile. It just makes my day. And so I thought he would not appreciate that because again I put him on a pedestal. I put him on that pedestal because this is who he is. He's a religious guy. Why would he want a loud wife and a crazy wife who can just stand and start clapping when everyone is sitting? So anyway, so that date happened, and the most important thing of how I actually shrunk myself on another level was now also financially when it comes to my success. Now I've been driving since I can remember, and so since kind of like university side. So I had a car and I was mobile. I was earning money. I mean, as I said, I finished university early when I was 19 and I started working. I had full salary by the time I was 20. So I was working, I could save, and I had the whole financial thing going. So I was not like a Miss Independent, snap your fingers, but I was literally independent. Like I was actually independent. And I thank God for that in all its ways. And so I was thinking, for sure. And I knew as a pastor, he may have a humble beginning, humble salary.
Or not. And
or not at all. So I was like, let me just not be that person who's flaunting her success. These are things I don't believe in right now.
Sally, do you mean that you took a matatu for the date, or what happened?
I actually did. I actually took.
You left your car?
I left my car. I actually left my car in the office, my office parking, and took a mat to town, and then we walked it was a distance to the gate of the hotel because the restaurant was not in CBD. It was a bit out, so I had to walk, and it was not looking like a very sunny day. So I was like, let me humble myself and enjoy the flowers of Nairobi CBD. I was telling myself, what are they called? Like stories you tell yourself so that it becomes true. To tell myself that, let me just walk so that he sees that I'm humble, that he sees that I don't have to
make you arrogant.
Exactly. So at the time, then I don't believe that now. I do not believe that now. Girls, be you. But I totally was trying to downplay who I was because I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable. I didn't want him to feel that I was taking control or charge of since I've already said he's going to be the husband of him being the husband,
And the narrative of women being high maintenance.
Right. There you go. So again, I was also thinking like, maybe he thinks I'm too high maintenance or I'm so vain. The word is actually vain because I am now driving with it was a starlet that was given to me by my brother. All my siblings had ridden it, so now it was my turn to ride it. So it was not even my car. I had not even bought it, but I was mobile. So I remember I wore the most humblest thing. I talked the least in that date. He talked all about himself. I mean, I that's also an issue, but anyway, let me not dwell on him.
A
topic for another day. But for me, I can say that I was more interested in how he's gonna perceive me than getting to know him. I actually didn't take so much time to get to know him. I was like, he didn't even notice that I was humble. I didn't come in the car. There, I tried so hard. I wore the longest thing in my closet, and at the time, I was not even in like, you know, trying purposely to outshine him or anything, or to show anything, but I just really wanted to tick boxes, and I was more on ticking the boxes. So I guess that's a situation that I totally regret, because at now currently looking back into it, this is an opportunity for me to have made a great friend and to have gotten to know him, even if it was not in a relationship, or maybe if it was, I would have looked at it in a perception that it's better to have shown who I am at the beginning than to come later on and say, oh, this is who I am, and he's like, but no, you're quiet, that is quiet, Sally. Yeah, I drive everywhere. Like, if you can drive, as in. And so not even just about the car, like just even my outlook on life. I'm the type of person who I'm very, I'll keep quiet. I will not keep quiet. Gosh, I will say something as opposed to keeping quiet, because I believe if you've said something, silence is better, is worse than doing nothing. So I would look negatively to him if I was showing myself, which is wrong. So girls, show yourself, be who you are, please.
So actually, my parting shot from Sally would be, how are you dealing with it right now in terms of if a less successful financially man approaches Sally today, how are you taking it? Or have you had a recent date with someone that would perceive you more financially successful than they are, and how are you handling it in your life?
I'd say, okay, considering that I'm not alone in terms of the statement that most women are, you know, doing quite well. I mean, if we compare with our parents today, as a 21st century woman, you know, we actually, it's not really a myth saying that 21st women are not industrious, are not successful. It actually is true. Many of us are going out, whether you're working for yourself, whether you're working for somebody, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever, we're doing that. And that's exactly, I mean, that space where I was fortunate in my upbringing to be, had the same advantages as any boy would, and take it to the levels that I'm in now. So your question is, how am I currently, just repeat the question.
If a man who's perceived as less financially successful approaches you, how are you dealing with it? And actually, if possible, if you have an example of how you've dealt with it, that would be really wonderful.
I think the most important thing is knowing who you are in Christ. I'd say that in a strong way. In this, why I say this is because when you know who you are in Christ, meaning from the source, meaning from God, I'm talking about the source. When you know who you are, you know your values, you know what you're supposed to do on the planet. Because I believe each and every one of us were put on the planet to do something, male or female. So as a female, more so, the highest calling you could have is actually being the authentic self that you are meant to be. So if you're authentically yourself and you are living your life the way God intended it to do, of course discovering your purpose, I believe that somebody will come into your life to align with where you want to go. And so how you behave and how you respond and how they respond, you can never control how somebody responds towards you. You can only control how you respond to yourself. Yes. So for me, I've changed my image of who I am, loving who I am for the way I am. I'm very different from you, Carol, very different in terms of how I respond to things, but that doesn't make you better and me less, and that doesn't make even another guy who's quiet and me who's not quiet, or who's not maybe outgoing and whatever, lesser than you. So appreciating more, I think I appreciate people for who they are. I take them as they are, because when somebody, especially I think for me, my experience, if a guy shows you who he is, believe him. And so with people also, if somebody shows you who you are, believe them and take them as you are. And the most important thing, you're beautiful in the eyes of God. I'm beautiful in the eyes of God, and he's called me for things that wherever he wants me to go. So he brings somebody in my life for that. So I'm still waiting on the Lord. I'm still waiting on the Lord for a man. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Sally. So I want us to deal with myth number 2, which Diana will tackle. It says, take what you get and just settle already. Like, already.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
I know, right? I think our mothers and our aunties always go like, hey, what's the plan? 2 years ago, I think, to share an experience to handle that, I was in a situationship. I'll call it. I've never been in a relationship, but I've been in situationships. I like to call them that. And this situationship had dragged on for a while. in the middle of the situationship, what would be an eligible bachelor appeared in my life.
Eligible.
And I mean, for all intents and purposes, tick.
Goes to church.
You know, goes to church.
Serves in church.
And loves the Lord. Like, and for real, like, this man is legit. Like, he honestly was very legit. And legit to the point, took me on a date, stated his intentions. You know those things you keep saying, I want a man to tell me what he wants.
Yeah.
Immediately, don't take me around in circles.
Have a plan.
Have a plan for you, you know. Profess, protect, provide.
PPP.
You know.
PPP.
Yeah. So he ticked all those boxes and we went on this date, and he was,
He's
you
even
know,
told his family about you.
the family knew about me. They had been praying as a family together about me. So, I mean, everything.
family?
Yes, as a family.
Wow.
So, with everything, this thing lined up. I mean, of course, wouldn't this be of the Lord, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a situationship. Surely, open your eyes to see what is in front
What
of
it's
you.
supposed to look like.
What it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And we went on this date, and he said his intentions, stated his history, and he's like, you let me know. And he was very patient, gave me a month to figure this out.
A whole month.
And it was a very long month for me because I was torn between am I going to settle because it appears to be what it is? I mean,
Right.
this man already panders you everything. Or am I saying no because of a rebound? You know,
question.
yes. Am I going to say yes because I'm going to rebound because this situationship is not working?
At all.
And if I say yes, am I saying yes, just take what you have? This one is not working. Huyu akupendi, huyu anakupenda. You know, he doesn't love you. This one loves you. Take what you have.
Take the one who loves you.
Yeah, and I was so torn, and I felt a lot of first internal pressure, and I felt a lot of external pressure to take what you have, and it was such a difficult moment for me. And because I couldn't make a decision, I had to let it go. And I was very honest with him. I told him, honestly, I have to let you go. And it doesn't make sense. I just can't say yes to your proposal. And looking back now, even though I was confused because of my situationship and him coming, it was the right thing to do. He's an amazing man, but he wasn't the amazing man for you. And for me, that has taught me, even sometimes when saying no doesn't mean that, you know, this scarcity mentality. Why there's only one man for you? If you say no, he's not going to appear. And I think for me, you struggle that the older you get, you struggle with that a lot. And even looking back now, I mean, I was on a date a couple of, you know, months ago. I think, and
How are you all getting dates, man? Seriously.
I don't want to go on
time
a
ago.
date.
did you hear me? A couple of months ago, not a 3 weeks ago. So, and for all intents and purposes, amazing guy, right?
Yes.
He was an amazing guy. And I was actually quite excited. No, first for a whole month I didn't say yes. Then I'm like, okay, fine, let me say yes.
Playing hard to get, Emma?
I wasn't playing hard to get. I just didn't think he was serious.
Oh, okay.
Or you know that he wasn't putting effort.
I was like, you know, as in, yeah. So finally we go on this date, which I thought was an amazing date. I had a good time.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say after that, it didn't work out. And for me, I didn't feel like I've lost. And I think looking back, because when you learn to say no, when the yes shall come, you will know it. So
Say that again.
when you've learned to say no, when the yes come, you'll know it. Because sometimes we feel we have to say yes to every relationship because we need experience, or what if it's the one?
Right.
But once I learned to say no, then I'm beginning to know, I'm like, when God will say yes, I will respond.
Drop mic.
So yeah, so for me, honestly, it helps me deal with my current situation. I mean, there are things I'm still struggling with, you know, but definitely it has helped me go like, when you know, you will know. Yeah.
And probably just to chime into what Diana is saying, I remember when I was working in a certain company, my colleagues kept asking me, because before I got married, I was single for, oh my God, like all my adult life, for like 7 years, because the last time I was in a relationship was in when? I even can't remember, 2010. And they started dating my husband in 2016. So I was single for 7 years. And people in my company kept telling me, they knew, first of all, I'm a believer and I'm very committed to Christ and I go to church and I serve. And they kept telling me, Cara, what you're looking for does not exist.
Exactly.
So, people would even bring boys who are their friends and introduce them to me and tell me, my friends would bring their boys. Their boys. Would bring them to me and then tell me, but you know, Cara, what you're looking for does not exist. So take what you're being given. And I remember, interestingly, I had even mentioned to God, I do not want a man who chats me THS to mean thanks and GDNI to mean good night. You know, like for me, I'd say, please, God, I do not want someone even who types shorthand. I was very, very specific on that. And to hear
They used to annoy
no, like it's
Carol.
really annoying.
Like anyway, she goes like, what is this guy texting me?
Not even just a guy, for me, even a woman. I'm
Yeah.
like, surely, please, write well.
So many letters on your
Yeah,
phone.
what are you trying to save
Keypad.
energy to type?
Yeah.
So like, and I remember,
feel you.
And when you know really God has spoken into something,
Yeah.
like really you do not have to doubt. When my husband came, by the way, like, no, I get annoyed at him correcting my English.
She has been humbled.
Exceedingly abundantly.
Yeah, it's usually there's for like, Han, that's not correct. And I'm like there's a time I consistently used to say, when he started dating, that too shall pass away. Then he's like, pass away is to die.
He's right, actually.
Correct?
English.
Phrase should be, that too shall pass.
Pass.
You know, that constant correction, it gets into you. But remember, ask God,
Yeah.
So I just had to deal with my insecurities for why you consistently correcting me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can go over and over about my stories. I want us to move to Mudhoni. And Mudhoni, there's this statement that I think all of us have had it here, including me who is married. I've had it even in marriage. Your biological clock is ticking. Get married or get a baby. How are you dealing with that, my sister?
You know, it's funny. This was more of an internal pressure than family. I'm very grateful that my mom never gives me pressure. I have aunties who've tried, and I just look at them as they're mad. But when I turned 30, it clicked. And I think for me, it was a hard 30. And because I looked around and I realized every person that I was in uni with, that we used to hang out, have a child, they're married. Yeah? And they're also moving on to their second child. I'm not even dating. I haven't been found yet.
I'm actually wondering, weren't you consoled that all of us were single?
No, I don't know why that time I was okay with it because, but you see, now we were doing baby reunions. Like, we'd go visit their kids. So when we go visit their kids, the narrative, and I don't blame them, the narrative is what is happening right now. And right now is that, is your baby sleeping through the night? Oh, have you thought about schools yet? So you check in and you have literally no content to add. You are happy for them. Of course you're happy for them. You're excited for them. And this is all and then they look at you, so Mudhoni,
What's the plan?
what's going on? Who are you? And they don't mean it in a bad way, but it checks in. To the point I started thinking about, maybe I should start finding facilities that freeze eggs. And I decided, no, seriously. Because,
In the country?
in the country.
Yeah.
And how much it would cost and where you'd go. And I even found like a YouTube link telling us, the quality of your eggs as you at this age will be different. And you're looking at yourself at 30 and you're like, okay, if by the time I date somebody, it probably might take 2 years. And then, but then before we start thinking about kids, another whatever, I could be 34.
Same math.
Yeah, I'll be 34.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many kids how will my eggs handle this thing then?
Considering the value, mathematically, the value of
Exactly.
eggs.
And then you're thinking about that I've eaten junk food, I've done what, I've really ruined the quality by my lifestyle. And it's just like, maybe I need to freeze them now, and then the pressure will reduce. So by the time, I'm found,
Just go and pick your eggs.
I'll just go pick up my eggs and see what happens. And this thing about IVF shows up, this thing about surrogacy, and you're just literally freaking out. And this was all internal pressure. And then, again, like my theme for the whole of 2018 and what I'm also trying to adapt in 2019 is keep calm. God has you,
That's a t-shirt right there.
But honestly,
That's a
because
t-shirt.
like if I'm a victim of anxiety and we cancel that, like I don't want to be that person. But this pressure was on myself. It wasn't anybody coming to me telling me this. I used to hate going to weddings because I'd be like, what's happening? I want it to be me next, And you look at, but the people you're picking, who are seeking you out, you look at them, I don't want to have a child with you.
But it happens.
I don't even want to get married.
I don't even want to get married with you. To you. How is this going to work? And it's forever and ever. how are we going to make this work? I want something like my parents, the way they love each other, the way they play. So if I'm going to follow the biological clock, then I'm in trouble. But that doesn't sound like something I want to deal with forever and ever. But if I wait and things work out, everything, will just basically work out. Yeah. So I just needed to literally just tell myself, chill. Yeah. Literally chill. We're not freezing eggs. Okay, it's not for me. I don't think that's what I want to do. I'm just
waiting upon God.
And
the reality is that sadly you're feeling that pressure, and you probably think you're feeling that pressure more when you're single. When you get married, it gets doubled. Now you have a husband. Now people are asking me, Carol, you're not pregnant?
Are you serious? It doesn't end.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
The cycle continues.
It doesn't end. My husband is the best. He keeps telling me, let them continue giving pressure. The sleepless nights are ours. The child them enjoying is theirs. Yeah, we will get a child when we want. And it goes back to the reality of, and I'm like, if God, please, you want to surprise me with a child, it's fine. Yeah. But I'm not going to fall into the pressure for, I want to have a child now because I'll be 50 when they are I'll be 50 when they're in primary school. And I keep remembering, please, the biological clock that we're talking about should be Sarah's yardstick. Sarah had a baby when she was, even the baby says, Abraham was almost dead. So truly, Sarah was barren for those many years, but God still gave her a child. So correct. I'm like, I am still in my 30s. Please give these girls a break. Yeah.
And also something else about that story that I make it, I find to be very interesting, what impatience does to us.
Yeah.
The drama. I mean, she knew she was going to get one. It was going to happen. Yeah. But she didn't believe it. So
Plan B.
What was Plan B, people?
Getting a second wife.
Yeah.
For her husband. She went out.
Controlling another woman's life, actually.
We live in a society where we don't want to hear things about clandays and things like that. And then I am willingly, as first lady, I am handing over my husband. That's madness to me. So something else I started now realizing that in that pressure, sometimes you go above and beyond and you snap. Some things you look back and you go like, that was me. I did that. What madness. Because at the end of the day, everything is going to be okay. Yeah. And if it's not okay, it's not at the end yet. So when you look back and you go, that foolish girl, what was she thinking? By trying to hasten these steps and everything is supposed to happen at the right time.
Or probably now to wrap up the session, we've talked about success and we've talked about the biological clock, and just take whatever you have to settle down, which also are still related to the biological clock. So my wrap up and my takeaway for this would be, let's remember that as women, that God has created us to thrive and to shine. So let no one make you feel that you deserve less than what God has created you to be. And at the end of the day, even when you talk about success, you being successful financially, even your career, or even in your business, God has given you gifts. He did not give us these gifts to sleep on them. He gave us these gifts for us to use them for His glory. So you have to remember that. Imagine where that man will find me. He'll find me succeeding and thriving as the Lord has placed me.
Preach.
And in regards to even I'm worried about, will I have children in my late 30s? Let's remember that God is a covenant-keeping God. If He's given you that desire, and truly it's His plan, imagine, like Sarah, He'll give you at 90. And you don't have to worry, you just have to wait upon God.
Yeah.
So it's been real. I really can't wait for us to go through the next set of meets. Yay! So you guys, thank you so much for listening. Remember to find us on YouTube, on Facebook, and even on Instagram. And also I would like to thank Billy Black, our super producer, for being so awesome and so patient with us. Till next time. Bye.